Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of the podcast, the Empty Stance podcast. I'm Reward as usual, and today I'm joined by our reigning champ again, the Galacticos, the Galacticos League, mini league. He loves to hear that, even though it was a fluke, but he's still the reigning champ nonetheless. So, welcome, Richie, again. Great to have
Yeah,
you on
thank
the.
you for having me again.
How's it going? How you doing?
Uh, Not really doing well in terms of FPL. Past couple of weeks have been a red hour for me. So stuck at 20th in the league, looking to make a late run into the top 10. So we'll see how the coming weeks fall out.
Yeah, it's 10 crucial game weeks to go, and yeah, I think this is crunch time of the season, so everyone is trying to be at their A game. Yeah. Well, last game week I see you got 71 points. Can you talk us through your team, your
Yeah,
captaincy?
I think yeah. So let's just start with the captain. I captain Saka because I just wanted to zag when everybody was zigging, I guess. I should have done it last week as well because you did the same thing last week.
Yep.
I felt that Man U would be a tough out for Man City, even though I knew they were going to win, but I felt like it was maybe like 2-0 or 1-0 or whatever it was going to be. I didn't expect the style of play that Ten Hag came with, but I just expected it to be it's a derby game. I expected it to be a tough one for Haaland. So, and then Sheffield, the last time they played a good team at home, they lost 5-0 to Aston Villa. So, I expected Arsenal to continue their form. And I expected Saka to be a part of, a lot of goals, if not at least an assist and a goal.
Yep.
I expected a penalty as well from him, but I felt like he would have had one if he had
They-
played the second half. But yeah, that was my basic reasoning for selecting Saka as my captain. Um, the sub that I did early in the week was Chan to Douglas Lewis,
Yeah.
which looking back now, I probably would have just sold Tony to Watkins. I think that was the move that was right there for me. But I wanted to give Tony another week since they were playing Chelsea um, at home, and he just doesn't seem to participate in the attack just as much
Looks
anymore. I don't know if
looks like
it's
a fielder, yeah.
because yeah, I don't
Is
know if it's because Mbuemo is out of the squad
yeah,
right now or
Buffon has to play make for them.
um
Lots of injuries, so I guess he's taking up that role as well. So
yeah.
yeah, doesn't look
And
good.
then my other team literally just picked itself. I benched Solanke because of his fitness. Even though I knew they were gonna win, I felt like they're playing away again. We're gonna talk about this later about game 28, double game week 28, but I'm not a huge fan of the bad teams like we talked the last time. So I mean, I knew Bournemouth was gonna win, but like I was just like, I can't take that risk of starting Solanke and he plays like a half, right? And then the only mistake I'll say I made was Doughty Taylor. I mean, that's like a toss up to me. I mean, I think Doughty has more attacking, um, goes
Yeah.
forward more. So I guess I would have gone with Doughty, but I felt like they were going to lose big to Aston Villa, and Bournemouth were not going to lose. Burnley were not going to lose big to Bournemouth. So that was my choice. And then the goalkeeper, it was ridiculous this week. Kelleher, Kelleher went with 9. I like at first I was like, oh my god, I got the right one. I got the right goalkeeper this week, and then Ariola went and saved the penalty. So
You shouldn't be complaining because I don't know what you expect people like me to do.
yeah,
Bad Martinez. The fact that Flecken, with all the goals conceded, outscored Martinez
at
just
Scott Martinez.
like
Yeah.
I'm
So
done.
so the keeper was a wash to me, even though Ariola had 13 points. So that's basically my team. How about you? How did you do?
I think I didn't do any much better. I had 75. I was on Saka captain for like most of the week, and then Haaland goes ahead to score 5 goals in the League Cup on
in the
the FA.
midweek. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, I don't think I can. This is way too risky. So I moved the armband to Haaland, and then I was praying. Like I was watching the Arsenal game behind the couch, and I'm like, can they take Saka off? Just take this guy off, because I think it was like in the first or second minute that he hit the post. Yeah, and I was like,
Yes.
oh God, what have I
But
done?
then if you watch the game, they weren't really playing through his side that much. I felt
I
like they used Martinelli a lot,
I mean, but he was in
right?
and out.
Like,
Was he was quite
right.
involved.
Yeah. I didn't see that opening. Maybe because the Sheffield was more concerned about him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Probably
Martinelli's side, like the right side was, or
was
the
so
left side now,
yeah,
was really open compared to Saka's side, right? So
yeah.
it was amazing that he got the return he got. So
Yeah, so I was just lucky that I think Asata said he was ill and he was feeling some type of way, so he had to take him off. Yeah. I also did KDB to I took off KDB and Richarlison um, to Son and Bowen. That worked out in my favor, although because I don't know how KDB blanked in the United game.
he didn't really play well that game.
Right.
Didn't
So
really play well.
that was good for me. Now I have Son and I have
Oh,
Bowen, both
now
double.
did you take out KDB in preparation for Salah, or it was just a week this week move, or
I knew
last
I
week move
needed
rather?
I knew I needed Son because Richarlison was out. I needed a Spurs.
Mhm.
I needed someone from Spurs in my team, and I mean, Son was like the obvious choice. And funds wise, the only way I could get to Son was if I took out KDB. So I took out KDB for Son, and I also got Bowen too. Two for the price of one, I guess, and they both
Yeah,
returned. So, but my defense was just horrific. I've had Senesi for I think about 5 game weeks now,
yeah.
and kept this guy just because of the double game week. And then game week 27 starts and he goes off.
Got injured. It's the curse of the double game week, man. It's the
I'm like,
FPL curse.
and I'm like, why on earth do I even have this guy? Because the only reason I've kept him all this while now he's gone. So and then they go ahead to keep a clean sheet. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, so that's that. And then I think, like I mentioned earlier, I'm done with my goalkeepers. So I have Martinez and Flecken. I'm done with Martinez. Like you can't be. I think it was 5.3 million. You can imagine 5.3
Yeah.
and 3 week. It's either ones or twos. Like this guy does absolutely nothing, nothing. And I'm like, I need those funds for Salah, so I had to take him off.
Yeah, you might need to bring in Kelleher because I saw a report that Allison is going to be out for a longer period of time. So,
Yeah, but the thing is,
that.
we have a double game week and a blank. And Kelly had blanks in 29. So I don't think.
But you have two goalkeepers, right? You're
Yeah, I
gonna
have
want two,
Flecken,
right?
right? But I mean, Flecken is going to consider as well. So I was thinking Neto. I really like the looks of Neto. The games against, I mean, we'll speak about them. The Bournemouth games against Luton and Sheffield. Those are like the best games you can dream of to get a clean sheet. So I really like the looks of Neto. So if I get Neto, I get the double. Then for blank game 29, I can go to Flecken. So
I disagree, but we'll get into it later. I disagree.
yeah, so let's talk about the double. Why do you think it's a trap?
Well, it's two bad teams. I know Bournemouth are playing better, but it's no, not two, yeah, two bad, like three bad teams, like Bournemouth versus Sheffield, Bournemouth versus Luton,
Luton,
and I
yeah.
think Luton has a double as well,
Double
right?
as well, yeah. So Bournemouth and
Right.
Luton.
So yeah, it's two bad teams, and Bournemouth games, no matter how good they are, I think that Sheffield will want to bounce back. I think that they want to prove a point. If you remember early in the season, they played Wolves, I think away from home, if I'm not mistaken, and they won. They won that game. It was a close game, until the end, and they scored two, and it was 2-1.
Yeah,
Um, they had a good game against Aston Villa early in the season where they were almost going to win that game, right? I remember a lot of people captain Watkins that game, and Aston Villa were able to squeak out with a draw, right? So I know that they're terrible right now, or they look terrible right now because they just played probably the best team in the Premier League right now, right? So I don't expect, I know people are going to want to buy Neto on some Bournemouth defenders, but I just think they even the Arsenal game, they had a couple of chances. Like it's not like it was just like
we didn't.
one
No,
side. They did in the first half.
that
They
team
did,
is
but like
that team
it's
should have
it's a bad team. But I'm saying Bournemouth is not Arsenal better than Sheffield. Do
definitely
you know what I
sure.
mean? So and they're not Arsenal better than Luton too. So
Well,
I don't see it. I don't see the even from I still have my triple captain, right? So I'm
mm,
not doing that. I rather triple captain Haaland when he plays West Ham and another team than triple captain. I'm not gonna fall for it this time now.
interesting. I remember the last double game week we had, and it was Luton, right? And they were playing this same
Yes,
Sheffield. And Sheffield shocked everyone by beating Luton.
exactly.
So,
Right. That's what I mean. Is like I think because they are two bad teams, it's going to be a little bit even. Like the quality of players are not like that drastically
but
higher than
I don't think you can classify Bournemouth as a bad team per se. Bournemouth are not.
fair,
They're
fair
not bad.
enough. Yeah, they are 13th in the league.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I don't think they're. I feel like if you needed any fixtures for the double, Luton and Sheffield are like the worst teams in the league. They are 19th and 20th. Well,
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
Luton, yeah, 19th and 20th. Like, I
So
don't
so
think.
that means you're saying that Sheffield is going to lose the rest of their games, the
What are
rest of
what
the
are
way.
what are they playing for? They're relegated already. Like, I don't even see the point. They shouldn't even
Play
be
for
in the
pride. They're playing for the badge.
guys are bad.
They're
Those guys
playing for pride. They are terrible. They're a terrible team. I if I were to if you put a gun to my head, not to be very dramatic, and you
yeah,
you ask me to triple captain a double game week player, or rather captain Morris. I know we're gonna
yeah.
talk about Morris, but
That's another thing. I actually agree with that. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Interesting take. So let's go. Well, let's say we have this bias removed and you're like pro double game week players, right?
mhm.
Let's go through each of the teams, Luton and Bournemouth. Let's start with Bournemouth. Um, if you were to pick, let's go with your top three players from each of those teams. So let's start with Bournemouth.
so yeah, for Bournemouth, I've got Solanke,
Yep.
um, got Neto,
Okay.
and I've got, believe it or not, I don't know if he starts, but I got Kluivert.
Interesting. Because he scored last week.
Yeah, I know, no, no. This is just I've always had that in mind. I think he's a very creative player. Um, I think that him and Tavernier, they're both very creative. When I mean creative, like they have a little bit of dribbling skills.
Yep.
I can take on a man, right?
Yep.
So those are my top three. Those are my top three. If you want to say four, you can add Tavernier, but those are my top three.
Interesting.
Um, yeah. How about you?
I don't know if I'll go with Clivert because I feel like his minutes are not. He's a minutes risk.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But
True.
he chops and changes quite a bit. So I'm not sure I want to go with Clivert. Even the Tavernier guy, he's been off form of late. Even the match
Right,
against Burnley,
Burnley.
yeah, he missed a couple of chances, like clear cut chances. So I'm not even sure. I think he's off form, so I wouldn't go near Tavernier. If I was to pick it, I agree with you. Definitely Solanke than Neto. Those are nailed. But if I was to go for a third, I'll probably go for a defender. Zabani.
Another defender.
Not that. I mean, Tennessee is injured, so I'm
No, I
just
mean
saying.
like I mean where I'm assuming Neto is like a defensive pick, right?
I mean, it's. I mean, we are taking off the bias, right? So let's assume they're good for a
True.
clean sheet against both teams, right? So yeah,
We
Zabani.
can assume that, but we've all talked about how clean sheets were very hard to come by all season. So that's not even bias, right? Like that's like what we've talked about all year.
Yeah, but then I feel like at least one of those teams, probably Sheffield, they're getting a clean sheet. So yeah, I'll probably go with Zabani. He's
Okay.
nailed. Although he doesn't have like an attacking threat, especially from set pieces, the way Senesi had. But you know that he's nailed. He'll get you the 180 minutes. But don't expect any much or too much from
It's
an
the
attack.
first time I've heard Zabani talked about in
Really, lots of
FPL
people got
space.
him in just last game week.
For
Yeah, I
real?
know. Yeah, I
Oh,
know
okay.
quite a few
I
got him
like
last
yeah,
game week.
that's interesting.
So there's the left back who's like really attacking the Kekers guy. I really like him, but uh I don't know. There's rotation risk as well. I'm not sure if Kelly is still injured. So if Kelly's injured, then um, yeah. But Kekes is also a good shot. But top three: Solanke, Neto, and Zabani for me. So let's go over to Luton. Who are your top three assets for Luton?
For me, mine is a bit different. With Luton, I mean, I think Doughty for sure, Morris and Clark.
Hmm, interesting.
I watched their game against Aston Villa,
Yeah.
and I think he's one of their better players. I mean, I know Barkley kind of like run the shows in the midfield, but in terms of like what
When I
why are you
hear people
laughing?
Barkley, I'm like, why?
Right, I'm just saying he runs their midfield, right? Like I'm not
Yeah,
even picking him as an FPL
yeah,
asset per se. But I think that Clark is, it's you're asking top three. If you're asking me top players, I'll stop at two. But if you want me to go top three, I think I'll add
yeah,
Clark.
yeah. I agree. I'll also go with Morris. I think he's standout captain. I think since game week 19, he's had 54 points. If you check,
Hmm.
Haaland got back from injury. I think Haaland has only outscored him by 1 point.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how consistent he's been. So Morris is a really good shout. Of course, Doughty. Doughty, like I call him. I know the last double game week he disappointed lots of people, but
It's
he's a
just a
really
bad team, man. He's on a it's a bad team. Like I don't know what to tell you. It's a bad team.
oh his crosses are just to die for. Honestly, I feel like after this season he should definitely be going on to bigger things
Yeah,
because
I
that
actually was checking his. I was like, how old is this guy? Like he's 24. So
yeah
yeah, definitely. He reminds me of Trippier a little bit.
yep, and he plays
Like on the
left center
left,
back sometimes too. Because I know when the injury happened to Senesi, they had to move him to. So not sorry, not Senesi. The
Nostalist.
There was the
Kabore. Is it
yeah
Kabore?
Kabore. They had no, it wasn't Kabore. There was someone else, the defender. They had to move him to left center back, and he did really well. But then when they were chasing the game in the second half, they moved him back to left wing back, and then he was just brilliant. So Doughty, if anybody doesn't have him, then I don't know what you're doing, but I feel like he's a good shout. I'm not sure about the third Luton guy, but I don't know. Maybe the goalkeeper Kaminski. I can't think of two is more than enough for me. Yeah, because
Yeah, I think two is enough.
both of their games are away. We at Crystal Palace and we at Bournemouth, so I'm not expecting much from them. So yeah, Morris and Doughty for me. So next question. I see lots of shouts, especially on FBL Twitter, about taking hits. No, let me put it this way. What if I wanted to take hits to get this double game week players? Do you think it's worth it?
Don't do it. Don't do not do it. You can do it like if you are just having fun. If you're trying to just it's an FPL, it's I'm just having fun, whatever, right? Like
Yeah,
if you're trying to maintain your position in your league, in your mini leagues,
yeah,
do not take hits because again, these are bad teams. I know you said Bournemouth is not a bad team, but
yeah,
these are bad. And the thing about these teams is like you might go into a game and Clark scores. Like there's nothing, there's no apart from maybe Solanke and Morris. Like who's the short guy there? Like there's nobody that's short. You might go into a game and like the defender scores, like some random person runs into the box, or Chong,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Chong might score, right? Like,
The
do you know what I
Mengo
mean?
guy.
Or Barkley can score, or Tavania can score. Like it's like so. It's like do not because you might pick the wrong one or make the wrong move.
Yeah.
Take the people that are guaranteed to start, like Morris and Solanke. If you want to take a hit, maybe you don't have Solanke or you don't have Morris. Those are the two players I'll say take a hit for. I mean, you just read out the stats about Morris, but um, you know, I mean, any other team he's on, people are going to be taking hits for him, right? Because of
Yep.
his last stats for the past couple of weeks. So those are the only two players I would say take a hit for.
Interesting. Okay. So would I be too crazy if I
Yes. Yeah, no, go ahead. No, go
really?
ahead. Ask your question. No, 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 ask your question. Ask your question.
Would I be too crazy to do a highlight to Morris?
See? Yes. No, no, no. Honestly, I mean, it's a numbers game, right? Two
Yeah.
is better than one, and the one game is a tough game
It's
against
three.
Liverpool.
It's actually three. Three is better than one. If you consider
Three,
game week
yeah,
20. Okay.
over the next 2 game weeks, right? Three is better than one, so oh, definitely. So as long as you have a path to bringing Haaland back,
Yeah.
why not? Like it's again, it's not something a lot of people is gonna do. If he works out, it's a risk. If he works out, you're gonna climb up on your mini league. So I would say it's worth the risk for sure.
What about KDB to maybe a Tavernier? Would you do that?
I wouldn't. I would do ADB to some of the players that play in game week 29,
Yeah,
like
like
Leon
Son.
Bailey or
Yeah,
Douglas Luiz, we talked about,
yeah,
and maybe Bowen,
yeah, yeah.
maybe. Those are what I would consider because they are sure players or sure 90 minutes players for their teams, and they're very important to their teams
Yeah.
than a Tavernier or if you look at Bournemouth the last week, I mean they had a blazing start to the season. They
Yeah.
beat Man U at home 3 nil, right? Like so, but since then they've not been scoring. They beat Forest 3. I think Solanke scored a hat trick, but then Forest was down 10 men down to
Yeah.
10 men. So it's not like they've been banging in goals and just need you can't wait to pick them. So I wouldn't do that move. I would rather pick a player that like Liam Bailey's his attacking threats are really good, and then Bowen, we know what Bowen brings, and then maybe Douglas Lewis because he's on penalties and is involved in the attack a lot too.
Do you think KDB is like a sure sell? Because I feel like low-key, this guy has been like a fraud since he came
I
back.
don't think I don't
Aside
think he's a
that
fraud.
that he gave us in 21 minutes when he came off the bench,
I've
this
never
guy
had him. He gave you. Never had him. He gave you guys. But I don't think he's a short sell. I'm not sorry. I don't think he's a fraud, but I think he's a short sell. I think that KDB is good for stints, like three
yeah,
weeks here and there, right? Even last year, like if you look at a lot of teams, nobody had KDB. Like he was just an expensive midfielder. I mean, again, if you had him I think there was a Newcastle game where he had like 3 assists or something like that.
yeah,
If you had him like here and there, it's gonna give you one of those. Like sometimes those his passes are just gonna hit, and Haaland's gonna score two, Alvarez is gonna score one, and he's gonna have those returns. But like I think you whoever has KDB right now should be looking to bring in Salah, right? That should be the long term plan for that for KDB.
Okay. Moving on. Let's talk about Rodrigo Muniz, the Fulham
Mhm.
striker who came from nowhere, literally nowhere. Broja was signed to, help their striking woes, and suddenly this guy can't stop scoring. From, I think in the last 6 game weeks, or the last 5 games, he's had five
I think they
goals. And
scored 4 or 5 goals, right?
yeah, 5 goals and
That's
one
his
assist,
total for the season, to be honest.
right?
That's his total for the
That's
season.
42 points
Yeah.
in the last 5 game weeks.
Yeah.
This guy's just
He
been
scored his total for the season.
going under the radar. Nobody's even noticing. His since game week 23, his second for FPL points. You can imagine that. His first for bonus points. His second for goal scored. His third for big chances, and he's also
Mhm.
second for shots. Why is nobody talking about this guy? And what do we need to do to prop this guy? Like what else
Nobody's
does he
talking about nobody's talking about him because who leaves, right? Who leaves your team for for Rodrigo Muniz, right? You have Haaland, Solanke, Watkins,
yeah.
right? You have Hoyland, Morris, Tony, and then right
Tony is a fraud, so let's not
Harvard's now, right? Are we going to say Harvard? Like, I think Harvard just has probably has a good as good of a start as Muniz, right? So and is on a better team too. So like there's no space for Muniz. Like I think if they're playing Sheffield, that's a good punt, but I don't. I think it's just one of those teams, Fulham, where a lot of their wingers get involved in their goals, like. Um, I think Solomon and Iwobi and William when he's fit. And then I don't know when Raul Jimenez is coming back too. So
time, son.
okay, so I still don't think Rodrigo. I think it's a punt if they're playing one of the relegation sides, but
Yeah.
for now, there's too many attackers for to take his place.
I might consider him in game week 29 for Solanke because Solanke blanks in 29. So, um, and then he has a home game against Spurs in 29. Spurs they always concede. So,
They're gonna concede, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
And he's cheap too. We just heard today that Salah is back in training. So, if you need the funds, I feel like he's a really good, um,
Everybody's gonna have to, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I really like the looks of Onis, but let's see how it goes. So let's talk differentials for double game week 28. Who are your top differentials this game week?
For double game 28, um, just 1 second. Let me just pull up the fixtures.
There's a tendency to forget the single game week guys. Like everybody's all laser focused on double game week guys, and there's always this tendency that
I think,
singles can even be best.
honestly, one differential that people might want to look at is AZ.
Yeah,
Um, they play Luton and they're at home.
yeah,
We already talked about Sol and Ken versus Sheffield. We already talked about the Bournemouth players. I think Havertz too is a good differential.
definitely. Yeah,
Um, so those are the two main ones for me. Just looking at the fixtures. If I want to add third one, we just discussed the player, which is Rodrigo Muniz. They play Wolves, and Wolves is not they're not all that defensively. I think they're going to concede. So that could be a differential. But the top two for me are Eze and Havertz, at least for the aside from the double game players we already talked about.
I also like the Arsenal left back, Kiwior. This guy has just been going slightly under the
So
radar.
does that mean that Zichenko is just
I don't think
safe for
Zinchenko is. I mean, I don't think he's back anytime soon. So,
it's not okay.
and Kiwior has been
Has
quietly,
been very good.
yeah, quietly
It's
doing the
been
job.
very good.
8 points, 9 points, 10 points. Like it's been amazing. So sounds like a really good differential to me. Um, I like the looks of I don't know Timo Werner. What do you think of Timo Werner?
I don't like the looks of it. I think that's a huge game for both of those teams because they're going
Right?
for top four.
So you
That's a
remember what happened
huge
the
game.
last time we met?
What?
That game,
What? No,
that game sounds like lots of goals.
it's a lot of goals.
Villa with their high line, Spurs with their I don't know what Spurs do, but they always
Sports
concede.
plays a high line too, so
So
they
it
do play a
feels
high
like
line as well.
yeah, we could see a basketball game, Villa Spurs.
Yeah, Timo Werner, man, oof, that was a tough one. I'd rather go for Brendan Johnson maybe. But it doesn't start. That's another thing. It's not nailed. I'm seeing West Ham play Burnley.
Yeah, I was going to look
So
at Kudus now. Oh, he's only
yeah,
3.3% owned, so Kudus is also a good shout.
Kudus could be a huge
Oh,
differential as
Bowen
well.
looks like he's get all the chances for West Ham. So, but
I think
Kudus,
Kudus is due. I think he's kind of due for a goal. I think.
okay, interesting. So let's talk captaincy. I know we slightly touched on it. I feel like it's between Solanke and Morris, right?
I think so too.
Yeah.
I already
Last.
made a sub early in the week.
Oh, okay.
I saw Tony for Watkins.
Like
I
how
just
you all your red arrows, all the red arrows you've been having.
oh, it was a differential. I was hoping for something. I'm like, he's bad. Oh man, that was a
No,
bad
you
move.
can't. Watkins is a seasoned keeper. Like you can't even go with. Like I
Yeah,
made a mistake and I had to rectify it like a week later. Like no, you can't. You can't go without Watkins. His top of the league. He's top of the FPL's point season for a reason. Like I think I saw a stat somewhere. Like if he continues the way he's going, he could eclipse Salah's record of 303 points. So
because he has a lot of assists as well. I think he has double digit assists as well.
double digit
Yeah,
goals and assists. Yeah, the guy is
yeah,
has
that's
been
crazy.
brilliant. You can
Yeah, I made that mistake, so I already corrected it. So I don't think I'll be doing any taking any hits.
okay. So who are you captaining?
So my captain this week would be Solanke.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But if you have Morris, I think that's the way to go for sure. I think he's on penalties. He's nailed. Adebayo is injured. Um, you know, I think that's the way to
And
go.
he's been fairly consistent. Like
Yeah, since game week 19, like you said, yes.
okay. And I know you also have your triple captainship, and you're not using it on Solanke, no?
No, I'm not doing that. I really don't have. I think my triple captain will be used to get game week 37 for the double game week
Okay.
on Haaland.
But have you decided on like a cheap strategy yet? Because I know Gaming 29 is in plan. Have you
It
looked at
is a blank, but
are you going to do?
I'm not doing a free hit if that's what you're asking. Again, because look at the four teams, man. Like it's like, what are we doing? Why do we keep doing this? It's
Well, you
Fulham, West Ham, like you know, Burnley, and I think Aston Villa.
Spurs there, there's a Villa there, there's a West Ham there. Like you could triple
But
Spurs,
I have.
triple West Ham,
The thing
triple
is, a lot of people like I don't know in our league. You saw a couple of people did free hit this week,
yeah,
and it paid out for them, right? That's the thing. It's like you want. Aside from the wild card, you want to take your hits when. Oh, sorry, you want to use your
free hit.
chips when. not everybody is using it, right? And just hope that your strategy works, right?
Yeah.
That's how like that week when I saw a lot of people capping in Holland, I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna take my chance. Like it's like I'm gonna because what's the point? Like what's the point of everybody doing the same thing and everybody getting the same score
But
and
then
it doesn't
you stand the risk of being blown away. Like you're playing catch up if it works out for everyone
I'll
else.
take it. I'll rather take that than because that's what everybody's scared of. That everybody did it. I don't like same thing with our template teams, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I rather take the risk and see what I need to catch up and just put all your chips to the table. It's like a game of poker, right? Like
Yeah.
you hold all your chips to your chest. I don't want to show my hands yet.
Well, I don't think I'll be free hitting in 29 as well. I think I have like six players, and I'll probably just go through the game,
Six is enough. I think
right?
six is enough.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's really simple for me in terms of Haaland. If you're going to free hit in game week 29, I feel like you should keep Haaland. Um, but if you're not going to use a free hit chip, I think you can sell him for maybe a Morris. Yeah, because like we mentioned,
I
it's
was I no go ahead. Sorry.
no, I said like we mentioned, it's 3 games to 1. So I mean, even if
Yes,
Morris
exactly.
doesn't do anything, just appearance points, two, two, two. That's six.
True.
Compared to yeah, I feel like
He
it's
has Haaland would have to score a goal to
exactly.
match.
So yeah, so
Um, yeah, I was thinking about Wildcard 28.
okay,
Um, like this week, right? I was thinking
yeah.
about doing my wildcard this week. I am still considering it just to because I think if I do it any like 32, 34, it's like 4 games left. Like what am I what am I what am I like that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking my wild card is gonna be done this week. If not, then oh boy, I don't know.
Typically, I
Because I
like to
have
wild-
all my
I like to wildcard just when so I wildcard then play my bench boost like almost immediately, right?
exactly.
But doing it in 28 doesn't give me, there's no double in 29 or that. So 29 is a blank, anyways. And then if you're wildcarding in 28, you have to be mindful of 29. So you're probably going to pick some of these weird looking
Couple of
players.
players.
Yeah. So, and then you don't have any wildcard to go off them when we'll probably need a Salah,
Yeah.
Cole.
I don't think
That,
I would have picked a lot of players. I'll probably pick. I have Son, maybe Adudogi, Bowen, and that I'll probably just have six, just like you. So I'm not gonna try to overcompensate for that blank game week.
I think my team is
I
really,
might add Morris as well.
yeah, I think I can ride it out till maybe a game week 31, 31. Then I
Hmm.
can wildcard then. Yeah. And I'm still not decided on free hit 34 or bench boost 37. I could alternate them. So it could be bench boost 34 because that's closer to my wild card than free hit 37. So that's my chip strategy for now. It's not cast in stone yet. It could change. But yeah, I don't think I'm wild carding now or free hitting in 29.
Okay, that's good.
Right, so let's play a game. Um, Pick a player from this game week that you think scores the most points this game week. Be a
Um,
juggler, sing.
considering it's a double game week,
Yeah,
uh, considering it's a double game week, I I think Morris. I think Morris. Um, popular pick. But I think he outscores everybody this
I
game
was thinking
week
you'd go with Solanke.
because a lot of no, no. I think Morris is the better pick this week. Honestly, I know everybody has been
Yeah.
talking Solanke up to this point, but I think
Is he even
you know
fit? You know,
I
he
think he's
came
the better
off like
pick. He yeah, I think he's fit. I think there's enough time has passed for
Oh,
whatever knock he had. I
okay,
think. Um,
interesting.
I don't just see him scoring like a hat trick.
Yeah,
Like, do you know what I mean? When I think about the two games, I don't just see him like going crazy and
for
scoring
sure.
like a. I don't know, man. I may be wrong, but but my pick for this week is Morris.
Yeah, I'll go
Who's
with
your
Malan.
pick?
I can't unlook the Sheffield United game at least. That team I maintain that team shouldn't even be in the league. Like they're definitely a championship team. Like they have no business. I'm sorry to their fans, but they have no business. They're bad, like really
Pippin's very.
bad. So
I
yeah,
mean, it,
um, just because of that Sheffield United game, I pick Sri Lanka. Yeah. All right.
no money players, huh? Okay,
Who's my you? Yeah.
interesting.
So, huh.
Playing Everton. I think it's going to be an
Nice.
upset. I think
Looks like a draw. United Everton looks like a draw.
there's so much going on around Manchester United right now. I don't know.
Is Hoyland back? Or he's still oh, shit.
No, he's not.
And there's no hope. If he was back then, probably yeah. If he's still out, then I don't see United doing anything. Uh injuries. Trippier's out for I think till the international break. So whoever has Trippier, take note. Salah is back in training. I mean, he's also in the Liverpool team for tomorrow's game against what are they playing again? I don't know. The Europa game. Yeah.
Europa League.
So I mean, if he starts on the bench, do you think he starts against his City?
I think so. I think he starts. It's a big game for them. It's a big game. It's a huge game for both of them too.
Do you have any plans on getting Salah back?
I think Folding would have to go. Um,
I think so.
I really do. I think I'm going back to the. Yeah, I disagree. I think Foden is. I'm going back to the setup I had at the beginning of the season where we all had Son and Salah. Um, yeah, I think for the stretch, he's gonna be um needed for Liverpool for the home stretch. I think he's gonna play every game. Once he's 100%, I don't think Foden is gonna play every game
Interesting.
going
But I
forward.
feel like he's the most
He's
he's
gonna
the
go like
best
because
player for City. Yeah. He and Roger.
he is. That's why they need him, right? Like they just qualified for the
Yeah.
Champions League quarterfinal. Like they I'm sure they're eyeing that as well. So and Foden is kind of like like in and out sometimes.
But he,
Um, and I think the last three games he didn't do anything until the last game against Man U. Right? So it's like, but I don't. Like, would you ask yourself this? Would you rather have in an FPL world? Would you rather have Salah or Foden?
definitely Salah. Salah is king. You know Salah is king.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like
So that's there's no even you don't need
I think they
to
can
overthink it.
coexist.
So that means you do
I
without
can still
Son.
have some. Like my team. So I have huh, that's true. Yeah.
You can't. You cannot. Except you want to do away with Haaland.
I mean, is that too much? Because
So you rather keep
like I
Foden than keep
mentioned,
Haaland.
if you had Morris, like when Haaland got back from his injury, the only difference is just 1 point. And Morris is 5.1. Haaland is 14.5. Just just based on value alone, I don't think Haaland is. I don't think he's worth what that.
If Haaland had scored two goals against, if he had
If
converted
if
that
we like,
chance, with where,
well, you have to.
but you just like
It's a game of chances. You have to
if
take your chance. I mean,
against Chelsea. against Chelsea, if you had converted one of those chances, we're here singing a
Say,
different tune, right? And the only reason we're
yeah,
bringing Morris up is because, again, it's the
yeah,
last 5 games. Oh no, sorry, 7 games,
yeah.
8 games. So what happened the previous 19?
Well, it's a game of chances. I know a couple of people who are
Exactly.
like top in the leagues and they don't have Salah and they don't have Haaland. They've got like whole season without Haaland, and they're doing like what? So,
Yeah, true.
it's a
They're
game.
doing
It's a,
fine. Fair enough. That's because they he was injured for like half of the season.
let's see
So
how it goes. But I feel like if you're chasing like me, you probably do something crazy. That's the only way you can.
I think it's the Morris captain that you got to go for. Everybody's gonna go with Solanke, and I know they're playing Sheffield, but I don't think. I think after a huge loss, I always think that the team just wants to fight back. I
Interesting.
really do.
Let's see
I
how it
really do.
goes. All right. And with that, we've come to the end of the show today. Thanks, Richie, again as usual. Thanks for gracing the show. Let's do this again sometime. To our listeners,
Yeah, for
please
sure.
like, follow, subscribe, share on YouTube as well. We have a YouTube channel now, in case we haven't mentioned. So please follow us on YouTube, subscribe, so you can get the notification anytime we have new episodes out. If you like this content or if you feel like this is giving you more some I don't know some value, please like, rate, share. Until we see you again next game week, here's wishing you all green arrows, guys.
All right.